morning, and welcome to the EIC partnership webinar about social value and our purpose-built public sector energy initiative, What Matters. Thank you for sparing your time this morning. The session's scheduled to last about an hour, which includes time at the end for questions and answers. So we'll have some questions at the end, and there's a facility within the webinar function that I'm sure you're all familiar with. If you ask any questions through the session, we'll get to them at the end. Before we begin, though, just want to do a little bit of an introduction to EIC, even though I expect most of you will already be familiar with us. So we're the UK's largest employee-owned energy and carbon management consultancy. It was formed with the union of the Energy Intelligence Centre, the Monarch Partnership, and ESS Utilities. So all of these organisations have their own stories and histories, but the important thing for the future is that how the respective experiences and expertise of each of the companies complement each other, so we can become more than the sum of the parts to provide more support and better solutions to our customers. Solutions like, energy procurement, carbon compliance, and more aspirational sustainability and solutions and energy monitoring and controls and stuff. So the roots of the organization go back around 50 years to the mid-70s, and over the time, lots has changed in the industry. The industry's changed lots and lots. The challenges we help our clients overcome has changed, and so too have the expectations and the measures of success. So our longevity is testament to how we and our services have evolved to continue offering the best support to our customers and our clients. And what matters that we're here to talk about today is an example of that continued development of the solution. And I think it's worthwhile saying, with all the challenges that we're facing energy buyers at the moment, buying from the volatile energy market and the growing legislative burden, that it's good to be able to be here to talk about something, around social value and achieving a little bit something outside of the norm. So today's agenda is to talk about, the Procurement Act 2023, which is a big driver behind, the conversation about social value. And although it's been described as a simplification, there are changes in the Act from previous iterations that need to be addressed, and there's going to be an increased reporting and more transparency requirements and more stringent rules and inclusion of social value. Except I'll come back at the end, ask any questions that people might have posted, so please do that. Do you want to take it away, Kieran?
Yeah, thanks, Billy. No problem at all. So, we're here today to talk a little bit about the Procurement Act, a bit about social value, and a bit about our new product, What Matters, which we're excited to tell you all about. So, just to cover a little bit on the Procurement Act without giving too much information. So, a lot of the Procurement Act builds on previous legislation. It's not new ideas, but what it is increased focus. So, obviously, you'll all be aware the new finder tender service is taken over from its predecessor fully. There's more consideration and access for SME and across business. But generally speaking, the Procurement Act is seeking to make public procurement more transparent, less financially driven, and just more public spirit. So it's building upon the Social Value Act of 2012, which encouraged a bigger focus on environmental and social governance, which we're all sort of quite familiar with at this point. That was further built on by the social value model, which sort of mandate that social value be evaluated in all public body procurement, where sort of relevant and proportional to contract. Now we have the Procurement Act 2023, which really shores up and solidifies a lot of those values. Now, it could be seen there's a bit of odds with a lot of the pressures in the industries. Obviously, you'll all be aware we've had energy security concerns. The price of energy has been higher than it has been in recent times. There's drive for decarbonisation across the industry. Due to all of that, we've seen resident engagement up across the board. We're hearing from clients and seeing across the industry that residents more than ever before are asking for value out of their procurement. At a time where energy is still expensive, it's been more expensive for some time, that value has to come from somewhere else. Hence why we're starting to look into more social value aspects. So a lot of the Procurement Act, like I say, it's not new concepts. A lot of it is shoring things up. There's an increased requirement around award notices and tenderings. For instance, within utilities, there's a certain amount of split focus between cost and service. Nowadays, you have to have a weighting of 10% towards social value within tenders. The Act also encourages tangible outcomes that you have to quantify and report on. So social value now isn't just something that's sort of nice to have, something to be seen doing. The Act is actively encouraging you reporting on it and building on it. The idea is to try and build throughout successive contract life cycles, building on foundations of social value, seeking to increase it with each subsequent procurement cycle. It can become a bit of a balancing act. As always with anything, there's cost and service as factors. So it can be seen as a bit of a new balancing act between cost, service, and social value. But if you sort of come at it from the right way, we think that each value can sort of enhance itself. So looking into social value, and I kind of want to discuss a little bit about how it differentiates itself from ESG, which we're all a bit more familiar with. So what is social value, first of all? Social value kind of is defined basically as providing a valued service, time or skill, but without a financial incentive. So it is encouraged for local authorities and gov.uk tenders, and it is expected to sort of build upon. It's not something that's going away. It's something that we kind of think that it is best to lean into. The expectation is that you as a business will build upon and sort of learn from your social value projects over time. So the big variation from ESG is the encouragement on reporting. And the idea is that you kind of get a baseline, you build on that baseline, and then you use that to inform further procurement, embedding sort of social value within the procurement cycle. So if we talk a little bit more about social value and how it can be used effectively and sometimes it can be used ineffectively, obviously you want to try and maximize the value out of any social value projects that you're doing. So if we use the example, say, of youth unemployment as a social value opportunity, let's say we have a young unemployed local resident who's living in supported accommodation, perhaps struggling with bills. You could, for instance, donate £1,000. Cash donations do help. There's definitely a place for donations within social value, but it's not particularly long lasting. It's hard to report on beyond the initial cash influx, what benefit it has. And it's not very scalable. You can't just throw money at every situation you encounter. So you could instead perhaps decide to donate time and expertise. You could review his CV. You could assist in job searching. This potentially helps more. But again, it's not very sustainable. It takes a lot of time. It's not very scalable. Businesses don't want to spend all their time helping people look at CVs. So in this example, I would say, for instance, reviewing local employment opportunities to address root causes, spearheading schemes to improve the opportunities. This would create a lasting impact on a local area and hopefully would be self-sustaining over time. This doesn't happen overnight. It's not something that's easy to do. There are quick wins available, but the legislation doesn't really encourage it. What the legislation is trying to get towards is a incremental change approach. One where your business is kind of encouraged to look for opportunities to build social value into your supply chain and collaborate with your existing contractors. Quantify and record any social value generated. This is to learn what works and what has the best impact. And finally, once you have your social value quantified and your baseline established, businesses can start to report, reflect, and build upon what they learn. Unreported social value can't be learned from, it can't be built upon, and it can't be expanded upon. So we do see reporting as quite a key part of the legislation, although the requirements for it are a little bit softer within utility. And there are a number of reporting options and models are available online. We are using a model based on the TOMS model, which is themes, outcomes, and measures. It is something that we're building in-house to try and make it a little bit more bespoke and a little more relevant to our clients. But the bottom line is, when it comes to social value, it's often not enough to say that you're doing it nowadays. Doing it even isn't often enough as well. You need to show it, quantify, and ideally build on it over time. That's how over your contract life cycles, your progressive contract life cycles, you can keep building and building social value into your procurement practices. So at EIC, like a lot of companies, we're not strangers to things like sponsored climbs and walks. There was a skydive a few years ago. We're an active sponsor of Sutton Women's Football Club. We've done Macmillan charity bake sales, Christmas jumper days, all the things that a lot of companies are doing. What we're wanting to do is get a bit more proactive, get more involved, and start spearheading schemes of our own. So we became the first employed-owned energy brokerage in 2024, and that in turn led to us instating an employee council. This in turn has helped us align our staff values with our business goals, and the idea that's going to go into informing our social value goals going forwards. So a core component of social value is kind of utilizing your business skills as an insight, utilizing your business skills and insight as a force for good. And as such, we're trying to do that, do what we do best and give it out to the wider community. We have, for instance, IT reuse schemes ongoing. So rather than generating a load of tech waste, which a lot of IT-heavy businesses tend to do, we look actively to donate them to community centres and support residents where we have opportunity to. We're running carbon workshops, procurement and query clinics, including free auditing and tendering services for SME and VCs and resident associations. And one thing we're really excited about is upskilling for local residents, doing winter readiness workshops, utility surgeries, employment and industry and upskilling participant participant training. And the idea of that is to give local people the skills to work within the utility industry or even within housing associations assisting within their utilities. Again, it's the skills, it's an expertise that we have that we're looking to try and give back to the wider community. This leads us quite nicely to What Matters. So What Matters is our new product. It's designed with Procurement Act in mind, and social value is kind of at the core of it. The core principle of the product is to kind of take the same principles we've traditionally applied to lower costs and then use them to access responsibly sourced green energy while also delivering easily quantified social value, but still remaining financially competitive, because obviously financially competitive aspect is key. We wouldn't expect you to take a product at a financial loss. That's not what the Procurement Act is about. It's about getting a balance. What Matters, we're kind of hoping it strikes this balance. It's designed as a bit of, it's designed as a bit of a one-stop shop product. It applies the principles and practices we've always applied to deliver competitive tenders and ensure good supply levels and service levels from suppliers, and instead uses them to embed true reportable social value into the contract lifecycle. So it works in a similar concept to a basket, but without a lot of the limitations. It utilizes bulk purchasing to enable direct purchasing from the UK-based Walkway wind farm in County Durham, which is delivered by EDF. The idea is we're utilizing bulk purchasing and we're directly purchasing from the UK-based Walkway wind farm in County Durham. By sort of levering the economies of scale, by levering direct purchasing, cutting out risk and bidding costs for the generator and supplier, we're lowering the margins on their end, which means that we can take advantage of that during the tendering process to make the product compliant while still delivering social value within it. It does have a green premium similar to other green premiums. However, the difference is this green premium goes towards delivering active social value alongside the usual non-community costs and margins. It's fully compliant within the DPS framework, and obviously one of the big advantages of direct purchasing means there's absolutely no greenwashing within the supply chain. Your REGO comes directly from the power station, from the wind farm rather, from the Walkway wind farm. It's fully within our DPS framework. It's positioned to remain so during the upcoming move to dynamic markets. It's quite a cutting-edge project. The way that it would work in tenders as well is it's offered alongside all the other products. Again, if it's not a competitive product, we wouldn't expect clients to go for it. It will be offered alongside, so you would see your supplier 1 green product, supplier 2 brown product, and then the What Matters product alongside as well. The idea is that we've managed to make the product as streamlined as possible with the bulk purchasing, levering economy to scale and our position in the market to lower the cost so that we can deliver this green product at a competitive price. But on the social value side, what would you get from the product that delivers the social value? It has a kind of three-pronged approach for it. So all the schemes are funded from EIC's sort of slice of the pie, as it were. We take the lead on them wherever possible. However, in line with the social value principles, we're really encouraging in collaboration with there's scope to. If there's any of the below projects that you are excited to hear more about or want to get involved, we'd love to hear. So the 3 prongs of social value that come out of the What Matters project, these are applied automatically. So for every site, every procurement done through the framework, through the product, you automatically generate these social value. So there's the Community Benefit Fund. Here, EIC will collect these fees, and for each site added to the framework, we also add the Community Benefit Fund. The aim of the fund is to generate true reportable social value via a tailored blend of joint social value products, including carbon reduction, joint venture products, volunteering, and non-financial donations. There are charitable contributions. These are just quite forward, quite straight charitable contributions to an appointed framework charity partner. This ensures that for every site procured, we're generating stable, reportable, and valuable social benefit via a trusted partner that's easy to quantify and easy to report on. The idea is that creates almost a background level of social value embedded directly within the procurement process. And finally, what we're most excited about is the EIC-led training and health clinics. So these come in 2 forms. There's career workshops. Here we want to run bespoke training sessions for resident associations, tenants of our housing associations, anyone who's looking to get upskilled towards a career in the energy industry. Now, the energy industry, while it's maybe not that glamorous, it is UK-wide. It has access at all levels. Whether you are customer-facing and you like sales, whether you prefer to be behind the scene and doing the nuts and bolts, The energy industry is a great industry to be involved with, or else, well, we think so, we wouldn't be in it if not. We're looking into getting CTPD accreditation. We have direct access to supplier recruitment channels and work placements for successful candidates. So what we want to do is work with housing associations to run these workshops and upskill residents in local areas. We also have reoccurring energy, health and procurement clinics. These are open webinars where we'd encourage all comers, especially housing association residents who operate VCs, micro businesses and SMEs to attend. And the idea is we give them insight into the market and industry. We hold open forums with open impartial advice on procurement and compliance. And we're open to providing free procurement and pricing checks for micro businesses and SMEs. The idea is we want them to kind of bring their queries. The energy industry can be a difficult place to operate, even more so if you're on your own. We want to kind of open up our expertise and skills to the wider communities. We run these sort of on a bi-annual basis, one around March, a bit before year end, and one is run in winter with a bit more of a winter readiness workshop focus. The idea being that with the What Matters product, it is competitively priced, but with every site that you're adding to the framework, you're also delivering social value. In summary, What Matters is designed to kind of meet the practical needs of Procurement Act and the social value needs without sacrificing traditional procurement drivers of cost and service. It's not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's common sense approach that common sense product rather that sort of leverages what we do best, our position in the marketplace, our position as brokers, to deliver competitive pricing while also giving you the double whammy of hardwiring social value into the supply chain. So some of the features that sort of support this is What Matters has built-in reporting packages designed to assist completing award notices and ensure compliances. It comes with standard carbon consumption and cost reporting. It comes with quantified social value reporting. The REGO certificates are direct from named generators and has all the relevant Procurement Act transparency records, reporting for award notices and recording social value easily. Collaborative branding opportunities are also available for anyone within the scheme as well, because at the end of the day, tangible social value shouldn't just be impactful, it should also be visible, because we want people to hear about it, we want people to collaborate, we want to kind of be as something that people want to shout about. So from here, what we really want to do is hear from you guys. We want to know where you are in your social value journey. We want to hear your questions. If you have any queries, you want to hear more details, please speak to your EIC account manager. On your next renewal contract, ask them about including What Matters as an option on your next renewal. If you are an if you have established charities or have an established charity partner you'd like to benefit from the project or have ongoing or upcoming social value projects, again, let your EOM know. We'd love to hear about it. One of the things to come out of the Employee Ownership Association that we currently run is all of our account managers and procurement managers now have one paid volunteer day per year to sort of pursue their own goals and values supported by the business. If you have upcoming projects, you'd like the ERM or extend it out to your RMs to see if there's something that we'd like to get involved with as well. But yeah, at this point, if I open it back to any questions or queries at all, we'd love to hear from you. I don't know if we've got any, Billy.
I've got a couple of questions. Yeah, Kieran. The first one, how are the carbon and procurement reviews offered different from the services we already take from EIC?
So the difference is we generally offer, what we're trying to do is we're taking our sort of B2B products and expertise, and what we're doing is offering them on a no-fee consultancy basis directly to micro businesses, SMEs, and resident associations who generally speaking wouldn't have easy access to these products. Like I say, we're looking to advise best practice, provide insight, support them on their pricing and procurement. And we're sort of designing it or we're wanting to sort of uplift and upskill the wider community around us and our clients using our expertise.
Spot on. Thank you. And we have just one other. We are already locked into a fixed term contract. Does that mean that we can't take advantage of the social value project?
So What Matters, again, would be something that you'd have to take on at the point of renewal. But while some of the social value projects we do kind of envision working hand in hand with the clients who take on the product due to their collaborative and bespoke nature, such as the resident training workshops, we ultimately don't believe that social value should be exclusive. The volunteering hours for account managers, the workshops, the IT reuse schemes are all open to all comers. So if you do have upcoming projects or schemes, I would say let us know, because we'd love to discuss it in more detail, and we're always open to having a conversation about it. If you do have any questions or queries, please do get in touch. We'd like to know, we'd like to hear. And as I say, if you do have anything follow up at all, please do let your EOM know. Thanks a lot, guys. I do hope you have a good day.